I broke my 4-month streak. I had to think about it. But we're gonna get it back. Because even though I fucked up and skipped May, I'm just gonna try and upload 2 videos for June. Because I technically finished the bug that I made in May. And I finished the one that I made for June. I just didn't upload them in time. So hopefully you'll get 2 in June. As for the bug in this video though, very excited for the one that I'm making today. Today I'm attempting a spider. A crab spider with the Christian name Thomisus onustus specifically. And the specific crab spider that we are going to make today is a pink female crab spider. And like all spiders, and like most, I shouldn't say all spiders, I said most spiders, but like most spiders and most insects, period, one thing I like about them is that the female is significantly bigger than the male. With the crab spider, it's a pretty hefty difference, with the female being about 7 to 10 millimeters long and the male being about 2 millimeters long. So here we are. I've made the tinfoil base, covered it with clay, shaped it, did what I need to do, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just going to take off this crabbish ridge here because it's not in the right place. And you know what I like about this spider crab? This crab spider? Spider crab, crab spider? I like that it is shaped like a crab. And I know you hear that and you think, wow, Sydney, the layers of nuance in your commentary just reach new depths every single time. But for real though, I like making bugs with interesting forms that help me push my creativity. And I also like making them for you guys. Didn't mean to get randomly wholesome when I should be talking about what I'm doing in the video. But if you guys don't mind a little appreciative moment, then I don't mind either. Back from our after school special commercial break. Here I had to add that extra piece of clay because the edge was getting too steep and it's more of a soft edge rather than a hard edge, so I didn't want it to be steep. And I also didn't want it to look like it was supposed to be so sharp as well. Because it's like a crab where, yeah, it has some edges, but it's not gonna cut you, you know? I don't want it to be sharp. So now I'm just going to make the cephalothorax. I know you're thinking, wow, Sydney, you actually looked up the anatomy of the bug you're making this time? I know. I miss 1 month and I come back a brand new bitch. I know. But one of the main differences between an arachnid, aka a spider, and a regular old insect is that an insect has 3 segments, which is the abdomen, thorax, head, and the spider just has the cephalothorax and the abdomen. So like basically the head and the thorax are the same thing, which is what I'm making here. And I also really like the form of the cephalothorax of the spider, this crab spider. Because it's just like, you see, if you look at it from the top versus the side versus the front, it's 3 different vantage points for viewing that change. I swear I'm not having an aneurysm, but I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. And I also like that it kind of looks like a turtle at this phase, you know, and then it turns into a spider. So another fun fact about the crab spider is that before I jump into that really fun fact, crab spiders are called crab spiders not only because their shells kind of look like crabs, but also because their front legs are way bigger than their back legs and they extend forward, allowing the spider to move backwards and forwards and to the side, which is kind of jarring, but they're really small so they can get away with it, especially if you don't zoom in on how creepy they look while they do it. And here in the spider face, what I'm doing here is making mandibles. That wasn't a good segue, I know. And by mandibles, I mean chelicera, because we're working on an arachnid, aka a spider, not a regular bug, aka an insect. So, my bad, slip of the tongue. And this specific spider has 4 of those. I also went ahead and made the brow bone of the spider, because this crab spider has very accentuated brow bones, which would host the spider's 4 sweet little eyes. Usually, spiders have 8, or 6, or none, if the spider's a cave spider. But this one, being a day spider, has 4, and I'm going to geek out a little bit on how spider eyes work. So the side eyes, right, which are the lateral eyes, are what the spider is used to kind of sense motion. And then the 2 middle eyes are like the actual eyes, I should say, per se. They're both valid, but the middle ones are the ones that they actually see with. So it's like the latter ones are the ones they sense with, and the middle ones are the ones they see with. Drop mic. I know you see these little ball things I'm doing, and you're like, whoa, Sydney, what's that? I promise you it's going to be irrelevant. Just you wait. So per usual, I took the polymer clay, I baked it, I made a middle part for it, right? I made the body. I was going to make the legs out of a new clay, and I thought, oh, I'd do this with the balls and have a good starting point. But as you can see, it doesn't work. And I tried sticking on, I gave up. But I'm not bent about it. What I'm really trying to do here is try something new with the legs. Because my ongoing journey is that I want to find a medium that lets me get as thin as possible with these insects and bugs that require it for their legs, if that makes sense. I want it to look the way that I imagine. So I create a really nice skeleton with the strong wire and the hot glue for stability. And then I wanted to get this clay. I want to get epoxy clay, epoxy Sculpt, whatever, because that's what I always see Delightful use, and I love her. That's what I always see Hexion use, and I love them. So that's what I want to try out. I fucked up and got the wrong thing. I got this, and see, it was a 2-part thing, so I thought I got it right, but I didn't. And it's actually supposed to be more for making ice cream and things like that. So like you make your clay look like ice cream, it's that kind of texture. But because I do not like waste, and I am cheap, but I really don't like waste, and I wasn't going to let this stifle my swag. You know, I wasn't going to let it cramp my style. So I want to see how far I could take it. It was hard. This first leg took me a while. My editor makes it look really, really easy. Makes it look like I got it just easy peasy. But this was really gonna do me in, if you ask me. And you see, I got some oil. I got some olive oil because I thought, okay, I made 2 legs. I guess I forgot to film the other leg, but I made 2 legs. And then I was like, if I use the olive oil, then it would help me out. Because the thing with this clay is that it's not made for fine details at all. Like, at all. I like the way the spider comes out. I really do. But I cannot use this clay again. So I tried to, it sticks to my fingers really hard. So I tried to use the olive oil to make it not stick. And that kind of worked. But then it also made the clay not want to stick to itself. So I had to really slowly take my time to weave out these legs. And I actually made the back 4 legs one night, and then I made the front 2 legs the next day or the day after that, which I don't usually do. That may not sound like anything crazy, but I usually knock my bug out. Like, I bake it, I make the entire form in like the span of 1 day, maybe 2 days, and I bake it. So me stopping after only doing the legs, that's kind of crazy. But I got the hang of it. You know, I started using a blend of like, instead of using oil, I started using like water on my hands, and that started to work a little bit, and maybe just like a touch of oil. I got the hang of it. I got a nice little rhythm, and I started to make these segments. And I really like this part of the spider because the segments kind of make it look like a skeleton, you know, like the joints and bones on a skeleton. I think that's really cool. But yeah, the legs ended up coming together fine. Took a lot of work. It came together fine. Now we're getting to the underbelly. So I'm just taking this handy dandy tool, which is actually a keyboard cleaner that I found in one of my mom's drawers. I'm taking that tool, and it really came in handy. As you can see, I'm kind of using it on every single part of the spider. just filling in those blanks, any part where the hot glue was peeking out. And I'm using my scraper tool to cut away those fine details because, you know, since the middle part is already hardened, I could just like scrape away the clay on the legs and then soften it with mom's keyboard cleaner thing. And now I'm making the segments of the legs. So that was easy peasy. Just kind of hope for the best, really. I just eyeball it every single time. We've gotten to the painting part, the best part of the video, low-key. So turns out when it comes to the crab spider, there are multiple colors that they can come in. Multiple editions, if you will. And the pink one just kind of spoke to me. I don't know. I haven't done pink, and pink just still gives spring. I think it goes perfectly with my spring collection. So I went with that one. But fun fact about the crab spider species in general, they can change color. And it's actually a really, really slow process, but they change color to basically blend in with the flower that they are inhabiting. I think it would just be smarter for them to just stick with the color they have and then go to the corresponding color of said flower. Like this one's pink, just find a pink flower. But I'm not a spider, so I'm not about to flame them for their evolutionary choices. What I'm doing here is just shading. And I'm trying to like really make the shading have like a bit of a gradient at the joints. So it's almost like I'm blushing, which as you can see here. Woo. Now I'm going to add the purple accents. This spider is just so gorgeous, so pretty. Perfect for spring, as I said. As you can see here, with the Calicera, I'm just doing basically the same thing with the joints, where I kind of have it gradienting out. Because, you know, at the end of the day, I'm just following a reference picture, and this is what the reference picture is telling me to do. So I'm just blending it out, adding a cute little gradient, and that's going to be a ongoing motif, because I'm going to do that with the legs. Spoiler alert. I come back to the eyes later, don't get your titties in a twist. But if you're interested in seeing what the crab spiders like to do with their flowers, how they like to match, you know, how they like to be twinning, I'm gonna be so kind as to show you a picture here, and here, and here, and here. So nice. I know. So back to the legs. Here I am. Oh, I spoiled it. I know. But here I am doing the same gradient thing with the legs. I really like the way the spider comes out, you know? I really, really do. And for what it's worth, I hope you enjoy it too. Back to the item. I was just kidding. I'm actually onto the abdomen now. So I'm using the splatter method because that's quite literally how the spider looks in real life. And I think it's cool. So I use the splatter method. And then I added the little dots just to fill in some blanks because it took me a sec to actually get the splatter method to really work. But I had fun, so I don't care. And then I just had it come up the sides. I was afraid to do the splatter method on the sides because I didn't want to mess up the legs. And then here I am just going over the little parts of the splatter that got a little too far up. And onto the item, for real. You see I just kind of layered it because that's also how the spider looks. Spooky business. I think a reason why so many people are afraid of spiders because their eyes are just so fucking scary. And because their legs are so long. In general, they're just odd looking. But here I am adding the accents. I think they're really cool and they add a certain look to the spider. However, it looks kind of like a weird emoticon right now. So I end up taking out the two dots in the middle just to take away the smiley appearance. Because if you take away the eyes, most things stop looking like a face. And now that I pointed that out to you, you'll never be able to unsee that. And what I'm doing now is I'm adding a little bit of ridges to the lines so that they look more organic and not like they're painted on. They look like something that actually came with on the spider, not something that I just painted onto the spider. So I think that came out really cool. In general, I love the way the spider came out. And I hope you guys like the spider too. With the fine details done and the glazing portion upon us, that can signify the end of the video. I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I think this was a great end of my spring collection, and please let me know what I should name her in the comments. My second video, fingers crossed, should be out by the end of June. I think I can do it. And I just want to say thanks again for watching. Thanks again for your support. See you guys for the next one. Bye.